Justice Tabally, I just need clarification on two things. One is, in your earlier engagement with counsel, you frequently used the description that this was an unusual scenario. Can you add context to that? Where was it unusual?
In that we have, in my memory and on my tenure at the sheriff's office, we have never dealt with such a sale concerning livestock. That's what I mean by unusual. One, at the instance of the state to dispose of a property belonging to a former head of state, and the circumstances surrounding it, and the pressure on the office at the time. That's why I said it's unusual. Because ordinarily, if it was a usual sheriff sale, we would have taken our time, go and take inventory on our own accord. But this one was presented to us. The normal sheriff sale would entail the sheriff taking custody of the property or the subject of sale first, and then request for evaluation on that property preceding the sale, and even advertisement. But this one, they are talking about properties being perished, going astray, or that's why I said I used the word unusual. So I have never had this experience before.
Based on your explanation, yes, it's based on three things.
Yes.
One, you do not have custody,
yes,
of the assets being disposed.
Yes.
And two, they involve disposal of assets that belong to a former president.
Yes.
And thirdly, pressure was on you.
Yes.
Now, let us break this down. Where was the pressure coming from?
Like I said before, when this was presented to us, and I spoke to Mr. Jallo, he is saying that if...
who is Mr. Jallo?
Aliu Jallo I referred to, which at the time, personally, I assumed that he was acting on the instance of the applicant, that if he had been to the site before and these cattle are perishing, if we don't move fast, time is of essence. That's what I mean.
So the pressure you mean is not concluded on it based on the submissions of Mr. Aliu Jallo?
Not only that, the notion that they are perishing, that's also a factor.
But that notion was presented to you by Aliu Jallo?
Yes.
And you believe he was acting on the instant of who? The applicant?
Yes.
Not so?
Yes.
Was that confirmed? Did you confirm that he was acting on the instance of the applicant?
No, I assumed that he was acting because he had presented this other one.
Now you need your confirmation, not the assumption. Yeah. Did you confirm that he was? You did not confirm it.
I did not.
So which means the pressure you are talking about was based on the submission from Mr. Aliu Jallo?
Yes.
In hindsight, would you have taken that as a pressure?
No, I would not.
No, which means the pressure is not there. There was no pressure on you?
Yes.
Absolutely none. Now let's look at the custody element. Who was having custody of the livestock?
We didn't know. I don't know. At the time, I did not know. Who.
No, who? But eventually you knew.
Yes.
Who was having the custody?
When we went on site, I want to believe that the army officers who were there, because Ali would coordinate with them before arriving. When we arrive, they would be the one to lead us where they have gathered this cattle.
You've never interacted with the army officers?
I have never.
You were again relying on Aliu?
Yes, we went to the sites, and then I have never interacted with any of them.
So which means the issue of the custody also, you relied on the verbal submission of Aliu Jallo?
I wouldn't say it's verbal, because visibly I have seen the custody.
Then tell us who was having custody of the livestock. Because these are the three benchmarks you use to justify that it was unusual. And now we have proven that there is no pressure, there was no pressure on you. We want to know where the custody was.
The custody was those who were in charge of those various farms, like the army officers. That's what I refer to. I don't know, I cannot remember offhand the names of the army officers now.
But these army officers, were they answerable to you?
No.
With regards to the upkeep of those livestock?
No, they were not answerable to.
After the court order, they were not answerable to you?
No.
Did you ever tell them to hand over the ownership of the cattle to an individual after sales and they say no? Have they ever defied your order?
No, I did not have, like I said, I have no...
No, I'm asking you. Now, you people on the ground who were doing the sales, did they ever report to you that sales were done and the armed officers refused to give custody to the individuals who made the purchases?
No.
That never happened?
No.
So which means the custody was in your hand? The only thing the armed officers were doing was to guard the property and make sure that no harm came to them.
We only had custody, custody here. If preceding the sales, we take custody and take, you know what you have. But this one, we will only go on the day of the sale, and they would be presented to us.
Was it by design? By design, I mean, did the court order tell you to just go and do the sales? Or did it tell you monitor the sales? Because if you look at paragraph 3(4), the court order gave you the authority to conduct the sales.
Yes.
And if you want to conduct the sales, which means that comes with accountability. Nothing stopped you, Justice Tabally, to take inventory. Was there any hindering factor to your office taking inventory?
At the time, we did not even know the whereabouts of the cattle.
But you know where to sell them, right?
Yes, we were told that they are at these various places. So when we will go there, they were presented to us. They were brought out in the open and then gathered there before even have arrived.
Yes, what I'm saying is, we didn't know where they were, but on the day of sales, we were able to sell them.
Yes.
Which means we knew where they were.
On the day, yes.
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 Why didn't you go before and count them? We are talking about custody now.
Yes.
Why didn't you go and count them before selling? Was there anything in the court order barring you from taking an inventory, an independent one?
In hindsight, we could have done that, but we had some challenges as well. Because one, given the location, especially in Kanilai, moving from Banjul to take inventory, at whose expense? I alluded to that before. At whose expense? Who will pay for that? Because the sheriff's office have no vote of it to move from one side to another. There is no official vehicle attached to the sheriff's office to move, to take those things. All inventories in other matters are done at the expense of the judgment creditor.
When you went to conduct the sales, it was at whose expense?
At our own expense, yes.
Then what difference is there?
But that would require us going back and forth many days.
And that would have saved the state millions of dollars. And I will just ask you now, whether you agree to the fact that if you had done a valuation, the pricing would have been different.
Yes.
And that the lack of variation, whether you agree to the fact that it resulted in economic losses, and you said yes.
Yes.
So which means, Justice Tabally, all the three benchmarks you are using to justify this particular sales being unusual does not stand. With regard to each authority, you relied on Mr. Aludalo, thinking he was acting on the instance of the applicant, which you never confirmed. And on hindsight, now you are saying there was no pressure. With regards to custody as well, the soldiers who were there were only protecting the livestock, but they never stopped you from selling.
No.
With regards to the inventory as well, there is nothing provided in the court order that stops you from taking an independent inventory.
I agree. Yeah.
You agree to that? Honorable Chair, just the last one. Earlier with council, you said the mandate to the bank account was changed. Is that right?
The signatories.
The signatories. Yes. Who were the initial signatories to the bank account?
I said myself as a sheriff then, and the then judicial secretary.
And the then judicial secretary?
Who is Justice Landing Sane now.
Okay, then who was the then judicial secretary?
At the time of the change of signatories, now Justice Aissatou Jallow C.
No, I don't mean now.
Yes.
The judicial secretary, so co-signatory to the account, what was his name? Or what was her name?
Co-signatory, well, that's Justice Landing Sane that I referred to.
Justice Landing Sane, which means yourself and Justice Landing Sane, they were the signatories to the account.
Yes.
Who changed the mandate to the account?
When I exited the office of the sheriff, I requested that I be removed as signatory because I don't want anything to do with it. I requested for that, and then it is the proper thing to do because I'm no longer sheriff.
Your request, where did you write it to? You sent it to the ministry?
Not to the ministry, the judicial administration.
You sent it to the judicial administration?
No, it was a verbal, in the course of a meeting, I raised the issue that I'm receiving these alerts from the bank. I'm no longer the sheriff. I don't need to know anything about this account or be privy to or to do anything with the account anymore. It is proper for the signatories to change now.
Now my question is, who wrote to the bank to change the mandate?
The letter was authored, I signed, and my co-signatory also signed.
And then you send it to the bank?
Yes.
Okay. The last one, the issue of Gilmer. For me, it's a matter of convenience. I think council have taken you on it. My colleague, Right Honorable, also have taken you on it, but I'm not convinced. Saying it was mere lapses is rather too convenient for me. What was supposed to be the role of Gilmer?
Pursuant to the order, they were to assist the sheriff in valuation of the cattle.
In the absence of Gilmer, who did you take?
We did not use any order to value, but on site of the sale, there was somebody who assisted to place value on the cattle.
What was his name?
That's what I refer to Mr. Kora and Mr. Jallow himself.
Give us their full names. Mr. Kora,
Amadou Kora, and Mr. Ali Jallow.
And Mr. Ali Jallow.
Yes.
So Mr. Amadou Kora was taking the responsibility of Gilmer.
No, I'm not saying he took the responsibility of Gilmer.
What was Gilmer supposed to do?
The valuation.
Valuation. Yeah. What was Mr. Amadou Kora doing?
Helping, assisting. He could not usurp the authority of Gilmer in this case.
Now let's forget about the authority of Gilmer. We know that they were supposed to do valuation. Now what was Mr. Amadou Kora doing?
He was assisting to advise on the value of cattle.
On the value of cattle. Yeah. What is the difference between on the value of cattle and valuation?
There is no difference.
There is no difference. So which means Mr. Amadou Kora was acting or basically taking the responsibility of Gilmer. Gilmer being an agent of the state, an independent agent, and you've been ordered by the court to work with Gilmer. You put them aside. And what baffles me the most is, you said initially you thought that he was acting on the instance of who? The Ministry of Justice. Not so. And later you said, you found out later on that he was volunteering. Which one do you take, Justice Tabally? Was he volunteering or was he acting on the instant of Minister of Justice?
I don't see the inconsistency there, because if I said at first, that was at the time of the sale.
Yes.
Subsequently, I later learned that he was not acting at the instance of Gilmer, but he was on site at the instance of MOJ, Ministry of Justice. So I don't see the inconsistency there, because my information at the time of the sale, or my impression was that he was there at maybe representing MOJ, or sorry, so not representing at the instance of MOJ, but later on I learned that he's not neither a staff or there at the instance of this Gilmer.
You know, you are the head of the sheriff.
Yes.
technically you are the one overseeing the sales. Now let's get this clear. Was it your assumption that he was acting on the instance of emoji, or were you informed that he was acting on the instance of emoji?
I did not verify. I said that before. I did not verify. I should have verified. But
no, verification would be done if at all something is made available to you.
Yes.
This is why I'm asking the question.
I did not confirm.
Yet still, to confirm means something was presented to you.
Yes.
Were you informed that he was acting on the instance of emoji?
When I saw him on site, when I came, like I said, I only assumed.
It was your assumption?
Yeah.
Now I'll ask you this question. On hindsight, if at all you realize that he was not acting on the instance of emoji, would you have allowed him to do the evaluation?
No.
Why?
Because I would want to know why he was there, on whose authority and all that. But I did not do that. I agree.
Why did you substitute the authority given to you by the court order? You substituted Gilmer with emoji. Why did you do that? The court order said Gilmer. You assumed Mr. Amadou Kora is from emoji and you embraced him. Why did you substitute the two?
I did not substitute him. He was there. Like I said, I only assumed he was there at the image. I have no authority to substitute him.
No, if you said, if at all your submission was where that you assumed that he was acting on the instance of Gilmer, then the issue of substitution wouldn't come.
Yes.
But you said you thought he was acting on the instance of emoji. And the court order is explicit. It said Gilmer. That's why I asked you, why did you substitute Gilmer with emoji?
In the first place, I even want to believe that even Gilmer, if they were present, they would have been in, at the instance of, or they would have been facilitated or to come to the site by emoji, by being the applicant, because that's the normal course of things. Even evaluer, his all expenses and transportation are borne by the applicant or the beneficiary of the sale.
Justice Tabally, the court order said that you should work with Gilmer to facilitate the sales, and that was made out of a very good notion, because Gilmer have background knowledge on the valuation of livestock.
Agreed, yeah.
Agreed. Now you work with a private individual whose background you didn't confirm, whose background you didn't even question. You said you assume. It was based on your assumption. And this private individual was giving you valuations to the tune of 3,500 for cattle, 5,000, 6,000. And you want this committee to believe that that was a mere lapse on your side. That's what you want us to believe.
Honestly, in all honesty, all that I am telling before this committee, sincerely, I am under oath, and I'm a judicial officer. I will not lie and mislead deliberately. I will not do that. I've been a judicial officer for almost all my entire career.
And that's why I'm asking you this. Yeah. Because you know due process, you know the law,
yes,
and there's nothing unusual about this transaction. There's nothing unusual about it. It's your normal course of action. Why would you allow someone whose background you didn't verify? You just allow him to come hijack the entire process. Why?
Like I said before, I said I assumed and I was wrong.
Did you verify with Gilmer? Did you contact Gilmer?
I did not. I said that before.
After receiving the court order, you didn't contact Gilmer?
No.
Why?
The day, like I said before, I have referred to my absence from the office for various reasons, for personal reasons. And then when the court order was presented there, I spoke to I spoke to my staffs there, and Mr. Jallo, I just said, let them do the needful, and then so the date of the sale was scheduled in my absence. I had wanted to come to the office, but for personal reason I could not. So I later saw the order after the court, the sale was already scheduled. But I did not contact Gilma, in all honesty. I did not contact Gilma. Like I said before, Mr. Jallo, who facilitated or coordinated our movement, I thought maybe he had been working with Gilma. He told me he had engaged Gilma at some point. I don't know on what, in what respect.
So Mr. Jallo came to you and sold the notion that there is undue pressure, you believed. Mr. Jallo will be coordinating with the soldiers, and you believe you don't have custody of the cattle when that is not the case. Again, it is the same Mr. Jallo who was negotiating, or you assume he was negotiating with Gilma.
He said he engaged them.
Yeah. He said he engaged them.
Yes.
And you did not verify.
No, I did not verify.
Yeah, thank you.